I will explain about background of topic Puspakom Bribery Syndicate case. This case is about corruption involving Puspakom Malaysia Vehicle Inspection Authority. Corruption refers to the misuse of power for personal gain, such as bribery and abuse of authority. Puspakom plays an important role in ensuring vehicles meet safety standards before being allowed on the roads. This is important to prevent accidents and protect road users. However, in January 2025, 8 individuals and including 6 inspectors were arrested by MSCC for involvement in bribery syndicate. They were found working with intermediaries known as runners to approve vehicles that did not meet inspection requirements in exchange for money. As a result, unsafe vehicles are allowed on the road, which create a serious safety risk and reduce public trust in the inspection system. Following the incident, the inspectors were suspended and both internal and MSCC investigation were carried out under the MSCC Act 2009.
I'm Kirtana. I'll be presenting general background of the figures and institution involved in the Puspakom bribery syndicate case. The two main institutions involved are Puspakom and the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission or MACC. Puspakom is Malaysia's official vehicle inspection company. It is responsible for inspecting commercial vehicles, public service vehicles, imported vehicles, and vehicles undergoing ownership transfer to ensure they meet the government's safety and technical standards before being allowed on public roads. On the other hand, MACC is Malaysia's anti-corruption agency. Its role is to prevent, investigate, and prosecute corruption offences. In this case, MACC led the investigation that uncovered the bribery syndicate involving Puspakom inspectors. Next are the Puspakom vehicle inspectors. Their responsibility is to inspect important vehicles components such as the brakes, steering, tires, lights, chassis, and emissions before issuing an inspection certificate. Their job is essential because it ensures that only roadworthy vehicles are allowed on public roads. However, in this case, 6 inspectors allegedly abused their authority by accepting bribes to approve vehicles that fail the inspection's requirements. This unethical behavior not only violated professional standards but also endangered public safety by allowing unsafe vehicles to remain on the road. Besides the inspectors, the investigation also involved runners and some vehicles owners. The runners acted as intermediaries by collecting payments and arranging bribery between vehicle owners and inspectors. Meanwhile, some vehicles owners paid bribes to avoid repairing their vehicles and to obtain inspection approval legally. In conclusion, this case demonstrates that corruption involved multiple parties working together. It also highlights the importance of integrity, transparency, and strict enforcement to maintain public trust and ensure that only safe vehicles are allowed on Malaysian road. Thank you.
Okay, so my name is Alia Atira and I will explain about how this scandal started. This scandal began when the Crown Structure report to the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission or MACC that they were being forced to pay bribes to obtain favorable inspection result and contract approval. As a result, MACC launched an Operation Drain to investigate the case. The investigation revealed that the syndicate has been operating from 2024 to 2026, demanding 10 to 50% of the project value of bribes. These payments were used to manipulate vehicle inspection and contract award. On 15 June 2026, MACC has arrested 13 suspects, including civil servants and size approximately Rm 1.5 million in cash, along with luxury vehicle, jewelry, and other assets. This marked the exposure of the large scale of corruption syndicate within the inspection and procurement system. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Balkis Batrisha binti Sadri, and I will explain to you how the scandal is revealed. The Puspakom bribery scandal was uncovered after JPJ conducted a surprise inspection at the Puspakom Center in Wangsa Maju in December 2024. During the inspection, officers discovered that unsafe heavy vehicle had been approved despite failing to meet safety requirements. The case was then referred to the MACC, which launched an investigation and uncovered a bribery syndicate involving 6 vehicle inspectors and 2 runners. Transport operator paid between 100 and 250 ringgit per vehicle to ensure their vehicle passed inspection. This scandal exposed weaknesses in the vehicle inspection system and raised serious concern about road safety, as defective heavy vehicles were allowed to operate on public roads.
My name is Nur Shakina. Next, I will discuss the court trial and the outcome of the lawsuit involving the Puspakom Bribery Syndicate. Following an investigation by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, or MACC, 8 individuals were arrested, including 6 Puspakom vehicles inspectors. They were suspected of accepting bribes in exchange for approving commercial vehicles that did not meet the required inspection standards. Investigation was carried out under Section 16A of the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Act 2009, which made it an offence for a person to solicit or accept any form of gratification in return for performing an official duty. During the court proceedings, 2 suspects were remanded for 5 days to allow the MACC to continue its investigation, while the remaining 6 inspectors were released on MACC bail after providing their statements. At the same time, Puspakom suspended all 6 inspectors from duty as an administrative measure to ensure the integrity of the investigation. As of July 2026, no final court judgment has been publicly announced, which means the legal proceedings are still ongoing. Therefore, under the legal principle of presumption of innocence, the accused cannot be considered guilty until the court reaches a final decision based on sufficient evidence. Overall, this case demonstrates Malaysia's commitment to combating corruption through fair investigations, judicial due process, and institutional accountability. It also highlights the importance of ensuring that legal proceedings are conducted transparently while protecting the rights of all parties involved. Now that we have examined the legal proceedings, let's move on to the consequences of this scandal and its impact on Puspakom, public trust, and road safety.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Atira Fikri and I'll be explaining about the consequences about this scandal. So firstly, it has reduced public trust in Puspakom. So since Puspakom is responsible for ensuring that vehicles are safe to be on the road, the public expect inspection to be conducted fairly and honestly. When inspectors accept bribes, people begin to question whether inspection certificates are issued based on actual vehicle condition or through illegal payment. Secondly, I can say that the scandal has increased road safety risk, which is vehicles that fail safety inspection may still be approved after bribery takes place. As a result, unsafe vehicles are continue operating on public roads, increasing the risk of accidents, injuries, and also even the fatalities. Moving to the third point, which is the scandal has damaged the reputation of Puspakom and government enforcement agency. So, although it's only a small number of inspectors were involved, the incident has affected the credibility of the organization as a whole. So it also raises concerns about the effectiveness of governance and integrity within public institutions. The fourth consequences, I can say, that is the legal action taken against those involved. Why? Because the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission arrested 8 individuals, including 6 Puspakom inspectors. If found guilty under the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Act 2009, they may face imprisonment, fines, and also dismissal from their position. In addition, the government now needs to spend more resources to strengthen monitoring system, conduct internal audits, and improve anti-corruption measures. While these reforms require additional costs, they are necessary to restore public confidence. So overall, I can say that this scandal shows that corruption affects not only for the individuals, but also involve public safety, institutional credibility, and also the country reputation itself. Therefore, strong integrity, transparency, and also the strict enforcement are essential to prevent similar incidents in the future for the country itself. Thank you from me, Nur Aktivisti.
Now I will explain about the country action to prevent further corruption. After the Puspakom bribery syndicates was exposed, Malaysia took several steps to strengthen its fights against corruption and prevent similar scandals in the future. First, strengthening enforcement. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) intensified investigations into syndicates and expanded monitoring like high-risk sectors like vehicle inspections. Special task force were formed to detect bribery patterns and ensure stricter compliance. Second, legal and policy measures. The government reinforced the MACC Act 2009, ensuring heavier penalties for bribery and abuse of powers. New policies emphasize transparency in public service delivery, especially in licensing and inspection processes. Third, institutional reforms. Puspakom and related agencies introduced digital systems to reduce human discretion and limit opportunities for bribery. Regular audits and integrity checks were mandated to detect misconduct early. Fourth, public awareness and integrity campaigns. National campaigns highlight the importance of reporting corruption through official MACC hotlines and portals. Integrity training programs were expanded to instill ethical values among civil servants and inspectors. Lastly, international cooperation. Malaysia continues to align with the United Nations Conventions Against Corruption (UNCAC), adopting global best practices in prevention and enforcement. These actions shows that Malaysia is serious about preventing corruption. Strong enforcement, transparent system, and public awareness are crucial to ensure scandals like the Puspakom bribery syndicates do not happen again.
Hello everyone, my name is Nofar Mazwin and I'm going to present about lesson learned. I have 5 points in here, which is the first one is strengthening institutional oversight and regulatory enforcement, which is the Puspakom scandal highlights the needs for stronger oversight to prevent corruption. Independent monitoring bodies with the power to investigate misconduct fairly and without political influence are essential to improve accountability and restore the public trust. And then the second part is enhancing human capital quality and ethical training, which is the research show that education and strong ethics can reduce the corruption. The Puspakom case highlight the needs for the ethics training, regular integrity check, and a zero tolerance approach to corruption. And then the third point is implementing transparency and disclosure mechanism, which is the corruption detection relies on transparency and accountability to expose misconduct. The Puspakom case showed that with transparency allow corruption to go undetected, similar to major scandals such as the Port Klang Free Zone, National Feedlots corruption, and 1MDB. And then the next point is addressing systemic corruption culture, which is the Malaysia corruption scandal from the Putra Malaysia finance case to 1MDB, show that corruption is a long-standing systematic issue. The Puspakom case reinforced the needs for stronger governance, whistleblower protection, and effective enforcement to prevent future corruption. Okay, next to point number 4, which is addressing systemic corruption culture, which is Malaysia corruption scandal from the Putra Malaysia finance case to 1MDB. Show that corruption is a long-standing systemic issue. The Puspakom case reinforce the need for stronger governance, whistleblower protection, and effective enforcement to prevent future corruption. Alright, for the last point, which is corporate and individual liability for corruption. Section 17A of the MACC Act 2009, effective from 1 June 2020, furthers corporate liability for corruption. The Puspakom case shows corruption can be evident within organization. The Airbus scandal across multiple countries also highlights how Bribery network operate internationally, reinforcing the need to hold both individual and organization accountable. And then that's all from me. Thank you. For the conclusion, the Puspakom bribery scandal demonstrates that effective governance, ethical leadership, transparency, and independent oversight are essential to prevent corruption. Strengthening this area is crucial to restoring public trust and ensuring accountability in public sector organizations. That's all from us. Thank you.